Hello, everybody. I wanted to share a very special client of mine, Rose. Rose, introduce yourself a little bit.
I'm Rose. I that should be the easy question, right? What do
That
we
should
want to
be.
know?
It's probably the hardest one that I'm
I'm
going
from
to do.
Texas. I have been a part of Reclaim since November.
Mhm.
Director of tourism here, married, have a kiddo that's 28, 7, something like that. Anything
I
else?
do that all the time with my kids. And they're younger. Like I should totally remember this, but I'm like, what
I
age
don't know
are they?
how old I am, and on my birthday's this week, so
See, it's just, we
yeah,
struggle.
yeah.
I love that. Okay, so why don't you tell everybody, how did you find the Empower Challenge?
It's just a God thing, honestly. I knew that this was the season that God had kind of given me the extra grace to, it was time to do something. I knew how to lose weight. I've done it before the hard way, the whole, working out 10 to 12 hours a week and counting every single calorie in and every single calorie out. And I hated that life, but I lost 100 pounds that way. And I kept asking God recently, Lord, I don't want to go back to that. I hated that life, but I need some help. I knew that it wasn't about the calorie thing wasn't actually the problem. I knew that there was some emotional stuff and I didn't know how to get to the root of it by myself. And I'd been asking. I was on my way home from a trip and I was just scrolling Facebook and there was the challenge. So I'm like, okay, well, there we go. Let's do that. So that's how I found it. It just is a God thing. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so tell a little bit about your experience just in the challenge. What did you think about it?
I want to say I found the challenge on a Wednesday that I was actually started on a Monday. So I was lagging I was behind, but just from the challenge, just from the challenge, I realized then it never had anything to do with food in the first place. It was never about the food. I knew it wasn't about calories in and calories out. I knew there was a heart problem, but I thought I was addicted to food. I would have told you I was addicted to food or I had a bad relationship with food. And I just the light bulb came on. It was not about the food. It was always about what was going on in my head. And it was about the enemy using food to distract me from anything else good.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you heard me talk about Reclaimed. It piqued your interest. What kind of led you to be like, no, I need to talk about this more and I need to know more about it?
I think it's God. I knew when I started the challenge that there would probably be an offer at the end to move forward, and I already had I had a yes in my heart. I already knew. I knew that whatever the next step was, I just knew God had led me there, and whatever that next step was, I was taking it.
Yeah, I love that. Um, and so what's so interesting is I think some of us are really open to that. Like we've taken those steps of faith before and we've seen how God has worked. And we know that that yes is like kind of already there. But a lot of us, there's a lot of times we still have hesitations. Did you
Oh
have
yeah.
any hesitations and what were they?
The only one really, well, I had two, I guess. One would be because I live on a lake where there's no signal. One of them was, how am I going to keep up with this because I don't have signal? But the other one was, even though I know that my husband supports me, and still, it was an expenditure. And so I knew that could be a trip. And so I just went and talked to him and he didn't even flinch. He's like, well, yeah, let's do that. So, and I know not everybody is that blessed. And so I'm super grateful. But I would just say it's worth it. It's just like, it's worth it. So, yeah.
Well, and I think that happens to us a lot. We think we know what our spouse is going to say, and we even sometimes put words in their mouth
Mhm.
or thoughts in their head. But honestly, they just want us to be happy.
Yeah.
and they want us to, this is what I find the most. They want us to see what they see,
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly.
You would say
And
that, yeah.
any way that's gonna like help us get there, and they're starting to see like that transition already, they're much more willing to like
Yeah.
back up and be on board with. So um tell everybody, what has been your experience in Reclaimed?
It's been a lot of really getting to know myself, a lot of hearing God more. I mean, I would have told you that I had a good relationship with God, and hear God fairly well, but I just learned so much, and it went down below all those layers of junk that have just piled on for years, and I couldn't do that by myself. And so it seems like even still, God keeps showing me new things that were tucked up under, things that I believed that were wrong, things that I remembered incorrectly. And the big one is just showing me how much of it was me. I mean, let's be honest, some of it is us doing it to ourselves. Some of it is the enemy tripping us up or just using what we're wrongly believing or thinking or doing against us. And so being able to see the difference between what is me and my mindsets and what is the enemy, that's been huge too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the enemy is out to destroy us, and
Yeah.
our brain is powerful, and what we think determines how we're going to show up. And he knows that. So he's
Yeah.
going to attack that thinking and
Mhm.
how we see ourselves and what's going on. What has changed from being in Reclaimed?
What hasn't changed? Oh, I'm not hiding anymore. That was a big one. I didn't realize I've been hiding a long time. I've been hiding from opportunities and challenges and relationships, my husband, God. I've been hiding from all of it because I didn't like what I saw, and I didn't like what I felt inside, and I didn't want anybody else to see it.
Mhm.
I'm not hiding anymore. I'm actually chasing challenge now, and I'm stepping into lots of opportunities that I would never have done before, public speaking and being in front of a camera and those kinds of things that I wouldn't have done. But even more is I didn't hang out with other people a lot. Because most of the time I was the one, or at least I felt like I was the one, was out of place because of what I looked like and what I knew about myself that other people didn't know about me. So that's a big one. I don't hide anymore. And
Yeah.
that's huge. So, and I'm putting myself out there in places where I wouldn't have done it before. And I'm jumping in and saying yes to things that I wouldn't have before, just because I was too busy hiding.
Yeah. Oh, what a gift that is now.
Yeah.
God's like, yeah, look at all the
Yeah.
places I can use you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are doors opening now that they probably were there before, but I couldn't see them.
Mhm.
And just other things are falling into place. Other things are, God's just meeting me in new places.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
love that. Do you want to share some of the results you've had from Reclaimed?
Yeah, I want to, I honestly don't remember what weight I was. I started, it was never about a number for me. I think I've probably lost, and you maybe it was like 30 or so pounds. I really don't
Yep.
remember.
It's close to 30 or a little over, something like that. Yep.
Yeah, it's somewhere between 30 and 40. I really don't remember, because it honestly was never about, it was never about the scale. I never, that didn't matter to me. I just wanted to be free. But so I have lost weight. I have been tracking. When I started, I was on 2 different medications, one for blood pressure twice a day, and one for, I had started battling edema in my legs and ankles. And so they had me on that twice a day. And even with that, my blood pressure was still running too high and my resting heart rate was in the 80s. And I'm getting ready to go back for my annual checkup next week, which I'm excited to do. But because of that, I'm tracking my numbers again to get, so I can show, and my blood pressure is usually in the 10 somethings over like the 70 somethings.
Yeah.
And then my resting heart rate is in the upper 50s.
What?
That's huge. So physically, like there's a ton happening. I'm stronger. I'm getting out and moving again. I used to fight lots of inflammation in my knees and in my hips. I don't have that anymore. So physically, there's tons of, I don't see it when I look, I am wearing clothes that are smaller. So physically, there are a lot of changes. The bigger changes for me are really the emotional, just finding the truths and uncovering all the years of just the junk that's kept me in this, place that I was in for so long.
Yeah, I know you sent me one email that said freedom. I'm finally found that freedom. And that word right there. I just, every time I talk to you now, I just see it all over your face.
Yeah.
Pure joy. I love it. Okay, so if there was a woman and she was thinking about Reclaimed, what would you say to her?
I would say if you're wanting somebody to give you a menu and a perfect formula, like, well, number one, this isn't the place, but number two, like, you're looking for the wrong thing. It's not the answer. Aside from that, if you're ready to really stop battling food and thinking about food so much and just live again, do it. I can't tell you enough. Just do it. The finances will be there. God will bless you. I just believe that. I believe if God put you in this place in front of Amanda at this time, then he's got the provision for it too. And then you have to decide about committing to the time, which is not huge, but if you really want to get something out of it, you've got to do the work. But it's all good work, even the uncomfortable stuff. So I just say do it. Like, don't wait, just do it.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you pointed that out, because that's the truth. This group isn't for everybody. If you're looking for a meal plan and just all the how-tos, this isn't the group for you.
Yeah.
We're going to dig in deep and we're going to get to the root of the problem. And yes, I mean, you've heard me talk about nutrition and all that.
Yeah.
But most of us know that.
Yeah.
We know the basics,
I
and
did.
that's enough. That's all we really need is the basics.
Yeah.
To know how to take care of our temple the way God intended us to. So yeah, I appreciate you pointing that out. And yeah, just do it. It's good. All right. Thank you so much, Rose. I appreciate you and your story. And it's just so fun to have been on this journey with you and just watch you totally step into that freedom and joy that you wanted so much. So
it's good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. If you want to know more about Reclaim, sign up for a discovery call with me. I'll have the link below. Otherwise, we'll talk to you all soon. Bye now.